To find the missing length in a right triangle, so the first thing I need to do is label my sides. So the side next to the angle 35 that we know is called the adjacent side. The side opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, and opposite the angle is called opposite. So we need to look at what we need. So we've got sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I've got these three formulae. So I'm going to look at what information I need. So I need to use this one, and I need to use the hype. This is the information I have. I don't need opposite, so I'm going to use the cosine formula. So the cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So let's substitute in the angle. Cos 35, adjacent is x, I don't know, and hypotenuse is 8. So I'm just going to rearrange. So 8 multiplied by cos 35 is equal to x. I can put that in my calculator. So 8 multiplied by cos 35, okay, so 6.55. So I'm just going to round to one decimal place. Okay, so my answer, the length of x would be 6.6. Okay, look at the next question. So we need to find the length of x. So I'm going to label my triangle. So this angle next to the angle we know, or sorry, the side next to the angle we know is the adjacent. This is the opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse. So, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so let's see what we don't need. We don't need opposite. So anything again with opposite. So I'm going to use the cosine rule again. So I've got cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So this time substitute in the values. Cos of 28. The adjacent is 15, and this time I don't know the hypotenuse. So I'm going to rearrange my formula. So x is equal to 15 divided by cos 28. I've literally just swapped these over. So if I put that in my calculator, 15 divided by cos 28, x is equal to 16.98. So 16.9, I'm going to actually round this, and I'm just going to say 17. So x is equal to 17. Okay, let's look at the next question. So I'm going to label my triangle, the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent, and this is the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA. Let's see what I don't need. I don't need the hypotenuse, so anything with a h in, I don't need. So I'm going to use the tangent formula. So I've got tan of theta is opposite over adjacent. So substituting my values. Tan 15 is x divided by 12. Rearranging my formula, and I will have 12 times tan 15 is equal to x. And I'll put that in my calculator. 12 times tan 15. Okay, so x is equal to 3.2. So there's my answer. Okay, so looking at this question. So the first thing I'm going to do is label my sides. So this is the hypotenuse. Opposite the angle is opposite, and this is the adjacent. I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA. Let's have a look what I don't need. I don't need opposite, so anything with an O in, I'm going to cross out. So again, I'm going to use my cosine formula. So we've got cos of the angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So we have cos 18, adjacent is x, and hypotenuse is 24. So 24 multiplied by cos 18 will give us x. So my calculator, 24 times cos 18, and x is 22.9, 22.8. So we leave it with 1 decimal place. Okay, let's look at the next question. First thing I'm going to do is label my sides. So I have, this is the hypotenuse, this is opposite, and this is adjacent. So I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA. And we're going to see what we don't need. So we don't need to know anything with h. So we'll cross out our sine and our car. We're going to use the tangent. So tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So let's substitute in the values. So we have tan of 65 is equal to x divided by 12. So 12 times tan 65 is equal to x. And we can put this in our calculator. 12 times tan 65 and x is equal to 25.7. Okay, so we'll look at this question. So we'll write in an angle here. Let's say, okay, we'll change it to this. So let's have a look at this one. What we need to do first is label our sides. So we'll have hypotenuse and opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA. And we'll have a look what we don't need. So I don't need adjacent, so anything with an A, I'm going to cross out. So this leaves me with my sine formula. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So substituting the values, sine 24 is 16 over x. So rearranging, we'll have x is equal to 16 divided by sine 24. And if I put that in the calculator, 16 divided by sine 24, x is equal to 39.3.